Good morning, friends. It's me, Mandy. I am jumping on here with a message from Spirit. There has been some conversations that I've been having with people in readings, in personal life, in mentorship that have kind of all been pointing in the same direction of something that is unraveling in a lot of us, including me. And part of what I'm seeing happening is this kind of collective shame or a fear or an anger that we hold towards ourselves for kind of a conscious or unconscious responsibility that we feel for things in our life that are not good, or things that we don't like, or things that happen to us. And as we move more and more into a spiritual path, as we become more and more aware of our creator being status, and we desire to own everything in our life because that's how we become whole. We also go through phases where we recognize that by owning everything, the good and the bad, that we suddenly start blaming ourselves for things that we might have before projected onto other people or other events. Like, this happened to me because that person did this to me, becomes that's happening to me because I created it. And when we move into that space, we can become very fearful of having any kinds of bad thoughts because we might create the next bad event, or having any kind of fears around not being authentic in our alignment or being a good person, per se, if you would rather say it that way. We really start getting into this spiral where we feel like all the bad stuff that happens in our life, or has happened in our life, or will happen in our life, is going to be because we have done something wrong. And remember, the ultimate goal for all of us is to move into a space of peace. And peace can only be achieved when we accept. And we can only accept when we allow some of these emotions that we feel towards ourselves to fully come forward into our heart and stand in it and love ourselves through it. If things aren't going right in your life, or if things are not looking the way that you want it to be, and you're working hard to not blame other people, stand in yourself, create the things that you want in your life, part of the process is allowing yourself to feel some of the emotion that you've been previously projecting on others. And that means standing in your anger about things in your life. And it's going to feel directed towards yourself. When you stop directing it out, it starts going in. Just like when you stop directing love outwards and expecting it to come back, and you start receiving the love within, that's how it works. It turns inside. But as you're doing that, that's going to happen with some of the lower negative emotions that you have maybe been trying to avoid feeling. This is the pathway towards your wholing, though. So if you're finding yourself kind of, and I'm going to oh, she's not on here, but this is sparked by a conversation that I had with somebody today. And I just wanted to give the message to everybody, because Spirit was like, no, this is for everyone. To get to where you want to go inside, to that peace, to that love, to that understanding, to that trust, to staying in the moment instead of, living in the past and being worried that it's going to happen again, or living in the past and desiring something to happen again, or living in the past and kind of trying to avoid what happened because you don't want to feel it or look at it. You're trying to move into a space where you're just completely present in this moment and allowing and trusting. You have to go through the phase where you look at the things that you don't like in your life, you own it, but you don't blame yourself, shame yourself, bully yourself about it. This is your opportunity to look at the things that you've created in your life that you don't like, and love yourself through it anyways. Because you know what, guys? Everything that's happened in your life, good and bad, has brought you exactly to this moment, exactly to this thought. And it needed to be there. It was part of your journey. And now it is time for you to love yourself through it. Forgive yourself. Be okay with it. You are learning. You're going to be continuously learning while you're in this human body. It's part of why we're here. And ultimately, all of us have the same purpose, which is learn to love yourself. When you can love yourself that way and open your heart that way, you are going to experience things in your life that you haven't before. But getting there includes standing in those horribly dark feelings that you might be having, including any kind of nastiness that you're feeling inside of yourself. Resentment is a big one. Standing in that and allowing yourself to fully feel resentment takes a fierce heart and a brave, brave soul. There has to be a knowing that you are held while you are going through this. And there has to be a knowing that this part of you that you don't like, you can call it shadow work, you can call it darkness, you can call it, your ego, you can call it whatever you want. But it needs to be accepted and loved for what it is and what happened when it was at its worst. And there has to be a knowing that it was perfectly divine, just as you are in your heart as the ultimate light being. So I hope that this message alleviates a little bit of the pressure that you might be putting on yourself to always feel good and really kind of try and avoid the bad feelings or avoid owning the bad feelings. Because it is part of the process and it is part of the journey. You have done nothing wrong in your life. There is no right and wrong. It doesn't exist. This is where you are moving towards. You're moving towards a neutrality that is going to allow you to live in the moment more than ever, because you won't be attached to what happened and believe it's going to happen again. And you won't be pushing so far out into the future that you decide you're not going to feel good until those things come to you. You're going to live in the moment and you're going to have gratitude for what's happened in the past fully, for real. So you can lie to people about how much gratitude you feel about happened, but you can't lie to yourself. And trust me, there is a potential and it is possible to get to the space where you are truly grateful for everything in your life, including incredibly horrible things that have happened. Suffering is part of the human experience, right? So I'm wishing you a wonderful day. I'm wishing you to go easy on yourself. I'm wishing you the strength to stand in some of those emotions that you've been avoiding, because there's only one way, and it is through them. You can't go around them, can't go under them, can't go over them, can't avoid them, can't sweep them under the rug, can't pretend like they're not there. It doesn't happen like that. You have to go through them. Trust that they won't be there forever. Trust that you will find the ability to love yourself compassionately and fully through the experience of feeling your deepest, worst emotions. You haven't done anything wrong. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're headed in exactly the right direction. In this moment, it's just about allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel. You're safe to do so. Okay, I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing evening, weekend, morning, wherever you are when you're watching this. And I appreciate each of you. Bye.